Good morning, everybody. It's Brett, your Thankful Carnivore. It's Friday, November the 8th. I hope you're having a fantastic morning. This is today's Thankful Carnivore Report. Appreciate everybody with your comments on the YouTube channel lately. They've been fantastic. We've been getting a new subscriber or two every day. That's really been pleasant. And I just appreciate everyone who takes time out of their day to watch all me babble about like I do. You can find this uploaded to the Thankful Carnivore YouTube channel. You can find it at thankful.carnivore on Instagram TV. And when Facebook and Instagram are cooperating together, it'll be up on my Facebook page too. I want to talk to you all day. I get asked periodically this question, and I just wanted to give an updated list. I get asked all the time about what podcasts do I recommend. New people, interested people, folks who are new to the low carb phenomenon, things that shows that I find not just to be informative, but understandable to the layperson, the non-medical professional. And I encourage everybody to take the time when they can. I listen mostly when I'm at work. I have a job that's manual labor. So I put the Bluetooth in, and while I'm doing my job, I'm listening to my favorites. And right now, number one still, and probably always and forever, as long as it's in existence, will be the Carnivore Cast. Scott Nislinski does a fantastic job. He's an amazing host. It's where my public journey began, myself, a year ago, December. And he brings on regular folks like me who get to tell their stories. He brings on medical professionals who got into this way of eating because they were on a search themselves for a cure to their physical issues. It's just a really well done show, and Scott still is the only host I know of who stumped one of his guests by asking a question they'd never thought of or considered before. A serious question, too. It was really great. But I highly recommend you go check out all the episodes there, the ones that he's already done and any new ones when they appear. Secondly, I highly recommend the Human Performance Outlier podcast hosted by Dr. Sean Baker and Zach Vetter. Absolutely outstanding podcast. Real discussions. Again, you'll run into a variety of hosts and subjects, or not hosts, but topics and subjects. You can have medical professionals, you could have recent lab researchers, you could have people who are specialists in regenerative farming. I'm on one episode telling my depression story. So there's a myriad of people that Dr. Baker and Zach host on there that all tell very important stories. There's a lot of science, a lot of ways to connect the dots. If you watch all these, I highly recommend the Sally Norton episodes where she talks about oxalate. And Phil Escott episode is pretty awesome, I find, as well. But there's incredible episodes. I can't recommend it enough. Third on my list is the Low Carb MD podcast with Dr. Brian and Dr. Tro. Now, it can get a little more sciencey. It can get a little more into the biological mechanistic language at times. But for the most part, I find as a layperson, I don't have any problem following their discussions. And if they do start getting too deep into the weeds, well, I just remember that Tro's a really good guy, and he's strong enough to break me in half, so I won't complain. I love Dr. Tro. He's a good man. I appreciate him very much across all of his social media. I highly recommend you follow him and Dr. Brian. I can't remember Dr. Brian's last name right now, how to pronounce it. I don't like mispronouncing people's names. So just Low Carb MD podcast, outstanding. Can't recommend it enough. The Peak Human podcast. Highly recommend that as well. Again, you'll see mostly science related discussions and They also like to point out vegan fallacies and things of that nature. It's a very good podcast. I recommend it highly. I also recommend that you check out Dr. Paul Saladino's podcast. Uh, it's on iTunes and then on the Android podcast app as well. Dr. Saladino, in my mind, is one of the brightest minds in the carnivore community. Definitely the quickest that I have come across so far. Just sheer genius in his ability to absorb and disseminate information. And I had the good fortune to be interviewed by him a few months ago, and just he's one of the few psychiatrists on planet Earth I would let examine me, that I would go see if I were to have another meltdown. Which, as long as I eat meat and drink water, that's not going to happen. Of course, Dr. Baker, Dr. Sean Baker, he does on YouTube. He does a video every day, and sometimes they're quite humorous, but they're always chock full of good information and things to make you think about, things that make you go, I never thought of that before. And it's just, I highly recommend it. He's not just a heavy influencer in the carnivore community. He's a good man. And I respect him greatly for the work that he does and the effort that he expends to help other people learn about this way of eating. And he's got a book coming out November 19th. And for those of you who are going to get that book, awesome. For those of you who haven't pre-ordered, I highly recommend it, because you want your copy to arrive on November 19th, I'm telling you. And when you do, I want you to open it up to pages 160 and 161. Just do that for me. And be sure to read the whole book, though, and share it with your friends and family, because people need to know there's another way of eating that's sustainable, and we thrive in it. Another podcast that I really enjoy, although I think this is more, I don't think this is on the podcast app. I know it's a YouTube channel that Phil has, Phil Escott. He does some fantastic work. He can get deep in the weeds when it comes to the spiritual discussions at times, but he's a really good man. He's got a powerful story himself about how he suffered from horrible arthritis when he was a vegan. Yeah, he used to be vegan and vegetarian and all that. And he's got an amazing story to tell, but he has great discussions, just fantastic discussions. And it can get kind of heavy and out in the weeds at times, but it's well worth it, in my opinion. Another guy I like to listen to is a guy in Austin, Texas, Carnomad. Mike does a great job. He puts on some great interviews, and he has some great thoughts to share and a unique way of sharing them. I appreciate Mike so much. I highly encourage you to watch that. And last but definitely not least, I want to encourage everybody to check out Tristan Haggard's Primal Edge Health. Tristan is an extraordinarily talented young man. He and his family are walking the walk. They're not just talking the talk. They're living carnivory. They're living animal protein and fats to the letter. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see, and they're doing it apart from the metropolitan nightmare that so many of us find ourselves in. I applaud Tristan in every way. He's extremely intelligent, a fantastic researcher, extremely intelligent, has an amazing sense of humor. And hey, maybe one day he'll have me on his stream. Who knows? But I highly encourage you all to check Tristan out. He's a good guy, really good guy. Now, one of the things that these podcasts all have in common is they want people to learn new things that they've not heard of before. They want you to know you don't have to suffer. That's my takeaway from every one of these podcasts is you don't have to suffer. Here's another way, a better way, an ancestrally correct way what we were designed to do. And they all talk about it in various ways and come at it from various directions, and it just keeps me very well informed and up to date on what's going on, not just with the carnivore community, but it helps me to gain a better understanding of how our bodies work and why meat is so fantastic for us. So there's my list of podcasts that I want to encourage everybody to check out. There's a lot of other great ones out there. There's only so much time, and I don't like to talk more than 10 minutes because then Instagram won't let you upload it. So that's our list for today. Check these people out. Let them know that you appreciate their work if you like it, what they're doing, so they'll keep at it. I think it's so important. We forget to leave reviews. We forget to let these folks know what we think, what we see, what we like, what made us laugh. They're just people. They want to hear from us. Have a great day, my friends. It's Friday, so I'm not going to be back here with another Periscope till Tuesday morning. But I want you all to take care of yourselves, eat your meat, drink your water, be honest, do the things you know you need to do, and always be thankful. We'll see you Tuesday morning.